Hey, just an announcement before we start the show. This Sunday at the Malibu Country Mart, I'm going to be down there with the folks from Porsche's subscription and rental program. They're going to have 3 cars down there. We're going to be there promoting Porsche's new subscription program and rental program, where you get to rent a brand new Porsche, maybe just for the weekend, or you can lease a Porsche through subscription, insurance included. We're all going to be down there. Come meet the gang from Porsche this Sunday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in front of the Malibu kitchen. And Zuckerman and I are going to be down there recording an episode. So there you go. See you guys down there. Start the show.
And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Oh, just show me a salad after you.
Here
show
we
me
are,
cookies.
Spike's Car Radio. It's going to be quite a show. Jonny Lieberman just called us up and said, "Can I sit in on this?" We said yes. Matt Farah is here from the Smoking Tire.
Yes.
Zuckerman's here. You guys have posted a million complaints. We're going to go through them.
It's 4 Jews, and we're in the apocalypse, so we must be the 4 Jews of the apocalypse
Excellent.
today.
We usually kick it off with a complaint. I have a really good one that I want to talk about. I was in the CVS Sunday night at 10 p.m. buying bandages, right? A time where, you know, if you're in a CVS at 10 p.m. on a Sunday, you just want to get that deal done. You want to get it done,
very wrong.
right? And the manager is at the register. Place is empty. I got this pile of bandages. My kid had a couple of stitches. We needed to throw some bandages on him. And Shlopo, the manager, goes, "You know, if you joined the CVS club right now, I could get you 20% off your total, and that would mean about $15 you would save right now." And I looked at his badge. I forget his name. He's a nice old manager, but I said, "You know what? You know, Schleppo, I don't have time for that right now, but thank you." And he goes, "Well," and he goes into his pitch, right? Now, I don't, it's been a long weekend. I was in an emergency. It wasn't good, right?
Bandages.
I got bandages. And he's going in his pitch, and I don't even have the energy to attack him for it. So I look down, and I've got a text thread with me, you, and Jerry, and I've got like 46 messages I haven't read yet. It was about Jerry and all his cars that he's bringing out to the Hamptons and us commenting on which ones he should sell. So I decide to use that moment to kind of catch up with it, and I'm laughing and
While
looking
this
at...
guy's pitching you?
While he's going, "Well, you know, and then what you do is you sign up and you join the CVS club, and it's only $5 a month." And he stops talking. I look up, and he goes, "Well," and I go, "No." And then he says, "But you can save $15. And I looked at him and I said, "I don't want to belong to your fucking CVS club, dude. I barely want to pay my Netflix, but a CVS club? You want me to join the CVS club so it can just suck on my credit card every month? I'm here once a year, and here it is. Why can't you just give me the $15 off? When I walk through your door of your business, I'm in your club. I'm in the CVS club, right? Why every place where I'm going now for bagels and everything, why do I have to join and pay them? What do you, I mean...
It's a revenue stream.
Because people are bad at math, and your data's valuable.
Well, there's that, but also, like, you know,
the
like...
CVS club?
But,
yes.
But, like, how long have you been paying Amazon a monthly thing for Prime? Like,
I get
$20 a month.
shows.
No. Right. No, they figured
From
out what I'm
Amazon.
saying. You just pay it forever. It's a lot better than buying a
okay.
Band-Aid.
Would
We're
you
all suckers.
What you really
they
need
figured
to
out
have,
we're all
Spike, is-
suckers.
Hold on. There it goes.
There it goes. Too many.
There are 4 of us.
Wait.
Go ahead, Zuckerman.
I'm just saying, they figured out we're all suckers and people want to belong to something, even if it's a shitty fucking club. And your poor guy Shlomo gets bonuses for signing people up. And you exercise in a certain amount of patience. I would have said, just pay, take my fucking money and let me leave. Trying to give you fucking money.
I'm just shocked that, like, you didn't just give me your wife's phone number. Because my wife is the CVS club
You
president.
misunderstand.
I'm pretty sure.
I did do that. That is a different thing. They're now saying we have a club tier where you pay $5 to $10 a month
For CVS?
No.
for CVS, and you will get 20% off.
What shows do you get?
No, this is
You get the I'm gonna wait in line for an hour show. You get the guy coughing on you show. I did go to the ladies' pad section last night.
It's big, huh?
I waited politely for the young lady to leave the aisle, and then I went
Pants.
looking for your advertisement.
Always pads. 60% of women wear the wrong
First of
size
all,
pads.
I don't even know why. I couldn't linger in that place for longer than a minute without feeling uncomfortable.
I
Like,
used to
what-
work
You're
in that
supposed to
aisle.
be.
I worked in Woolworths when I was a kid, and I had to stock that aisle, and I would spend like a couple hours a week in that aisle. And
Really?
Yep.
You and
you ever-
Zuckerman.
Did
It
you
all
ever-
makes sense.
Zuckerman saw this advertisement that, what is it, 99%?
It says 60% of women use the wrong size pad, and it makes me laugh because I can't believe, according to Malcolm Gladwell in The Tipping Point, with all of the hours these women spend doing this in their lifetimes, how could 60% of them be doing it wrong? They should all be fucking experts by the age of 25. And then it occurred to me it's just cynical sales pitch because women are going to believe they're doing it wrong. They're doing it right, but they're going to believe they're doing it wrong. And as Lieberman pointed out, if I came to you, Farah, and said you do something wrong 60% of the time, those would be fighting words. But if I came to you and said I got a better way to do something, you'd listen.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
And speaking of which, you weren't there on Sunday. I missed you on Sunday.
Well,
you had a thing, but
I was
but
in a hospital
instead I was
until 2 in the
entertained.
morning.
I got pretty mad at somebody.
Is this your complaint?
This is my complaint.
All right, let's have it.
Someone who I've never met before, who was wearing a mustache and had full overalls on
Nice
at
look.
Bill's, like he was at the Goodwood revival, came up to me and goes, "You're Matt Farah." And I go, "Yes, I am," but not like that. I was like, "Yeah, I'm Matt." and he goes, "You know what you need?" I can't wait to hear
Nothing
what
you're
you
offering.
think I
A
need.
toupee.
He goes, "A lavalier mic," and he tries to give me audio advice on my videos. So my complaint is that people should not open conversations with you, no matter who you are, by telling you what you fucking need with absolutely no idea what you have done in your past to get to the point you're at
Right,
right now.
exactly, yeah.
Like,
I
not
can
like
dig
I'm
that.
not like, do you know who I am? Like, don't tell me how to get audio because you shouldn't assume I haven't tried and studied a whole bunch of different ways because I've done 2,000 goddamn videos only to settle on the one that works best for me.
Right, exactly.
Like we've figured this
That is
out.
part
Like,
of your job.
yeah.
Well, one of these days I'll watch one of your videos and tell you how the sound is.
Right. So like
Until then.
Wow, Lieberman is he's come. This might be the day these two fight. This might be the day this happens,
He's
Zuckerman.
associating
No,
these.
Johnny and I have a running bit that we don't watch each other's content ever.
Yeah,
ever.
It's a running. It's like if we want to talk about cars, like I text like, "Yo, Johnny, what's the deal with this thing?" Like we
I
don't.
see.
We don't have time for that. So,
Right.
So there's a running bit like, "Did you see that video I made?" Like, nope.
The one video I've seen of yours is the one that I was in.
Yeah. Like
I watched both. Look at him. Haha. I watched both. Who else you want? We've got 150 listener complaints,
I
but
got a
if you
complaint.
guys have one, go
It's
ahead.
not really a complaint, but I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about 000, and
Which is an Amazon show
Which is an Amazon
about
show
the drug war.
And it's
Right.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's
No,
Right.
but I'm gonna start watching it now.
You got to watch it.
It's
but
good.
Our complaint is how come? Where do they get in Africa? The jihadis get those fucking pickup trucks that are pretty cool with machine guns in the back.
Hiluxes.
I want to get some of those things.
Yeah.
Where the fuck do
Where
they
do you
have a
make
dealership
those?
like
They
cheap?
sell them in Europe.
Cheap Mohammeds, and you go there, you can like get a beat up old pickup truck.
You could probably get some
Wait,
in Mexico.
this isn't a complaint,
Mexico.
Zuckerman. This is an
Yeah, this
inquiry.
is an odd.
This
I
is a
just want to
business
talk about
This is
it.
a really odd complaint.
Yes, I just wanted to talk about
Jamaica
it.
has a
well,
whole
Matt
bunch.
is saying you can buy them in Europe. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, you can buy them all over the place.
But where do you get the machine guns? Okay, well, that's where I
Well,
want.
there's the famous
Arizona.
the famous story that you'll remember of. I think it was a plumber and electrician's truck that ended up there,
Yeah.
and his logo was still on it while they were.
No,
Yeah.
that was I can't remember the terror. ISIS. That was
Yeah, it was
ISIS.
ISIS. Yeah, the dude
It said Paul's
guy
Plumbing or
sells
something.
his truck to like CarMax or something.
know.
They wholesale it out to some exporter. They ship it overseas with the guy's decal still on it, and they go, Habibi, yes, this one.
We'll take that with the machine
Plumbing,
gun.
yes, this is good. And then they're rolling around
with the 50 cal in the back.
dude's phone number on it.
Oh, it's so good. That is so good.
not a good look.
What do they do to these trucks? They just take a 50 caliber
Nothing.
gun
They
and
put a tripod in the bed and put a 50 cal on it. That's basically
That's it.
Yeah, nothing.
It's pretty
Nothing
easy.
special.
But they're tough trucks. The
They're
Hiluxes are tough trucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 40-year-old truck at this point. You know, we had the Tacoma, which is only 20 years old. So.
Are we reviewing terrorist?
We should. Jews on terrorist trucks.
That one's looking good.
What about you, Lieberman? Do you have a complaint to
do
open
I have
us?
a complaint? Well, let's see. My best friend overdosed and died 2 weeks ago. That sucked.
You win.
But I'll
You
win
win.
this one. But this morning, my
How
son.
is that a complaint? That's a sad occurrence, but that's
I'm
not
complaining. Don't do drugs. I'm complaining about the fentanyl level in heroin. It's too high.
Jesus.
A friend of mine overdosed on what he thought was a regular painkiller and turned out was fentanyl.
Yeah.
Like 6 weeks ago. He didn't die, but he was fucked up.
Yeah, fentanyl is ruining everything. Okay,
He
here's a
almost
complaint.
made me OD on Friday.
By the way, I like how Matt's like, I'm really sorry for your loss, and Spike's like, that's a complaint? That's not a complaint.
Well, I'm trying to keep us on format.
Okay, my son this morning, my 3-year-old, looked at the sun in the
Yep.
sky and said, Daddy, is that a fire? And I said, no, that's the sun. So, like, the air where I am, which is near Angeles Crest, is so shitty and awful that
Yeah.
it's just horrible.
And,
I'm just-
Angeles Crest is on fire right now,
Angeles
right?
Crest is on fire. It's close to Upper Big, I think. But one of my colleagues went up there the other day and said it's just miserable. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
And then
That's
I'm
my
sitting
complaint,
there-
too. I had to film in Malibu, which sucks.
Oh, I just drove through Malibu.
Filming
It
in
sucked.
Malibu is terrible compared to filming in Angeles Forest.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
so
looking
that's
for
my complaint.
smaller complaints, more
death.
annoying complaints
By the
than
way, do you
death
want an
and fire.
update on what happened on Sunday? Just real quick, 30 seconds?
Yeah, yes.
There were no strings to cut.
Yes.
Which was a bummer because I was prepared with Blade.
Well, make sure you come this week because this is where we're going to do the podcast out there with
all right,
Porsche. So
but
we're
there
gonna need
was,
you.
there were the cones.
Yes.
And I personally witnessed somebody drive straight over one of them and just crunch it and go thunk, accompanied by the crunching of a laminated side.
Yes,
It was very
yes.
rewarding.
We can. We're also at this moment. I think you released yesterday your podcast with us.
Yeah, I
if
think
you
so.
listen to Smoking Tire, you hear us tell the whole story. It wasn't Fireball. It was Sephora and Marmalade that got this shut down, and it was the employees complaining that they had no place to park. So feel free to cut those ropes.
I'm going to have to start listening to these podcasts. I have no idea what you guys are talking
Yeah,
about.
it's inside baseball.
It's our Sunday
Yeah.
Malibu Kitchen Cars and Coffee. They shut down the parking lots to try to get rid of everybody.
Right.
But
Well, I mean, was
It
it 2
hasn't
weeks
worked.
ago?
it has not worked in any way.
No, but like whenever last time I was there with you,
Yeah.
the Ferrari, like those jackasses in the V12 Lambos that were in neutral
Yeah, we
revving.
discussed this.
I turned to one of you. I'm like, this is over as of now.
Yeah,
Like,
the Lamborghini guys.
Yeah,
Right.
that actually on Sunday, that kind of happened as well, except they were doing like first gear exit pulls right there. And I was like, here's when this turns into a real problem.
God.
All right. Well, thank you, listeners, for
There you go.
complaining. You've laid out
Complaints.
a lot of complaints. I'm going to throw them out there, and anybody can chime in on them. First, from Graham Loves Cars. He doesn't like car podcasts that talk about motorcycles. That seems
I'm with
directed,
Oh, wait. He's
directed
right.
at me and Matt Farah.
He's totally right.
Specifically.
This guy's
podcast.
on the nose, 100%.
I'm sorry.
Why?
Well,
Go hang out with him.
Motorcycles are just dull.
listen,
It's
for
like,
every one person, and by the way, this is literally the first time I've ever heard anyone specifically say they don't like that.
Yes.
For everyone who does say that, there's thousands upon thousands of other people
Or hundreds
when I
upon
when
hundreds.
I do motorcycle stuff
That go, thank
Doesn't
God.
that go, yes, some more of this would be okay.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
like a total pivot, but like one bike for every 10 cars is great.
But
Keep
wouldn't you
that
agree
coming.
that most car people are also motorcycle people,
There's a
except
lot
for
of
these two
crossover.
guys?
No.
There's a
No,
lot of
You're a motorcycle guy, that's true.
You know,
That's
they're
true.
different but the same. It's a mechanical thing. It's got an engine. It's got wheels. You drive it.
casual.
I mean,
It's-
should we
it's
talk
not like
about
we go
boats?
that nerdy into motorcycles.
I know,
Every
I
once
know.
in a while,
That
we
was
ride
just
a
some
bike
fun.
and we
I'm with
talk
that
about
guy.
it.
I'm with that guy.
Sunroof delete. Despite my age, to this day, when someone washes their windshield in front of me on the freeway, I must get in front of them and do the same.
Of course.
I hate this.
Of course.
Yes.
I agree with that.
One of the
That's
most annoying things
I
in
think
the
you-
world. But haven't you noticed that people are doing it now offensively, like they don't like something you did or you're too close to them, and then they hit the windshield wipers? What do you think, Zuckerman? You're smiling.
I'm just smiling at you because your behavior is so bad that you get that from people.
What's that?
Your behavior is so bad that people would do that to you.
It depends on the car I'm driving, but yeah. I have
not gotten a purposeful spray. I've gotten base people are oblivious, and it always happens right after my car's detailed. And somebody's doing it, and they do it when the sun hits them at the time it's least likely to really streak-free clear the windshield. People just don't understand how to do it right.
It's become a weapon. But is it okay to even wash your windshield when you're driving?
Yeah, you can wash your windshield.
So what do you have to do?
Consider your rear view mirror
and in
just
the shade.
Consider
Wait,
who
hold
is
on.
behind you. That's all.
Consider who's behind you and the speed with which.
Wait till there's no one like right behind you or close by. Some cars, some of the new cars I drive,
Mercedes
particularly have very considerate window wipers.
It's actually called Magic Vision Control.
Get the fuck out of
I
here.
swear to God. But yeah, instead of having a spritzer that hits the glass, the spritzer's in the blade. So it doesn't spray water.
Look
It's
at
actually
that.
really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Stupid
works.
name.
It does work.
And as the Germans pointed out to me, the Indian guy who named it is no longer at the company.
Magic. They have a history of magic misting. Yes.
But I would just say, so one of the funniest things ever, I used to work with this guy, Scott Mortara, and we're bombing around Arizona going way too fast, and we got stuck behind some truck doing like 30 and a 55, and we couldn't get around him, and Scott's just tailgating him, and the guy just turns on his spritzer and is just getting us, and we just start cracking up, because it was the best thing he could have done. It was so good.
Let's talk about
not your
Manscaped.
car.
Got to do an ad. We got 3 of them today. We love Manscaped. You guys know why I love Manscaped, right? It's that little lawnmower 3.0 trimmer that they have. That not only do I cut my hair with, I cut my dog's penis hair with, because it does not bite. And you guys, do you groom yourself like that, Jonny Lieberman?
Yeah, I have I have to, I should say.
You have to. Matt Farah, are you a groomer?
I have the lawnmower 3.0.
Isn't it amazing?
I am.
And it's because of the light, right?
It's good. Manscaped is a good sponsor.
It's a good sponsor, and this thing I love more than any other tool in my grooming drawer, of which there are many, and this is the one I love the most. Apparently they sell other stuff, and I don't know if it's even as important as that stuff. You guys have to go to Manscaped. You have to get this Lawnmower 3.0. I'm not making up my excitement about it. It's awesome. You're going to get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com using my code Spike911, my name and my favorite car, at manscaped.com/Spike911. 20% off and free shipping from Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/Spike911. Upgrade that dong salon with the luxury products of Manscaped. I also use their ball spray and their ointments. I try
They're your
everything.
sponsor too. You gotta.
I try all of it,
I was just
Zuckerman.
thinking about him putting spray on his balls.
It's an interesting market they have, but that cutter, that trimmer, is one of the most useful things I've ever seen. I think I need to get another one that's specifically for Gopher's hairy penis, my dog.
You really need to label
You
that
shouldn't
one.
share. You
from
don't share
yours, I
between.
think.
I'm not
Yeah.
That's how
touching
COVID.
my penis.
That's how we get
Don't.
COVID.
That's yeah.
Don't touch your dog's
I
penis.
love my dog. I don't mind that. I don't mind the association. My wife
Wow.
isn't aware of what I'm doing.
That's
but
real love.
But I don't want to hurt him, and I know if I were to hit his skin, it wouldn't hurt. And the dog gets a hairy penis, and if he
You could just use
And then he gets-
then he
it
jumps
gets-
on your bed, and then it's like a paintbrush painting your sheets. I don't want.
No, we do that with our dog, but you can use scissors. You don't need to use
See, the scissors scare the fuck out of me with
Scissors?
that
No.
dog.
scissors. You just cut the hair.
The thought of the two of you tending to your dog penis is it's just
Well, mine's
even
a
too
dog
much for
vagina,
me.
but
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
trim your dog penis hairs?
I don't talk about it. And yes, Buddy gets a long wick, and then it gets all hard and ugly and nasty.
So
See, now
scissors.
you are a dog penis trimmer.
Scissors.
No, I'm not talking about
You're
it.
talking about it
just
right
spoke
now,
about
sir.
it.
Finally
But you have to get
prompted me.
paid to talk about it. See how that works?
I'm going to get you a Lawnmower 3.0.
I don't bring up the penis except for cash.
Low End Garage in Chicago says what really bugs him is masked drivers in their cars alone. And he's also seen the occasional surgical mask wearing motorcyclist without a helmet.
without a helmet?
Yes.
It's different
What do you
state.
think about the? I've seen the people in the cars when they're by themselves wearing a mask.
Yeah.
It's helpful to me. Because it identifies them as stupid. You see those people, you stay the fuck away from them. It's like a flag.
They're usually
It's
sitting
like-
very close to their steering wheels
Yes,
with
exactly.
little T-Rex arms.
Exactly.
I thought you were going to say it was helpful because it reminds us to stay vigilant.
No,
When
yes,
I see
for
it,
them.
it reminds me to
Just to
don't
play
flex.
devil's advocate, I did leave the house without a mask, and then I pulled up to make a left turn, and I looked to my right, and there was someone wearing one. I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have a mask."
Right,
so I
right.
did turn around.
Right.
And get it. So it's
Okay.
maybe.
What if they're like
It's like a
helpful.
sign, a reminder,
But
right?
like maybe you don't know. Maybe that person's like an Uber driver and they have like other people in their car
No, that's
like
totally
all
true.
day. If
Well,
I
you
was
can
doing
tell.
that, I'd like hazmat up.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
if you have an Uber sticker or a Lyft sticker on your car, then I'm going to give you a pass on that.
What
Okay.
about if the air quality is at 265, horrendous, which it was at my house today?
I think you need a different kind of mask.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a respirator.
I need to move to Hawaii.
By the way, I was, going to this emergency room. I was like, God, this is the last place I want to be, and it was empty.
Empty? Yes.
Yeah.
And the doctors there, it was UCLA Medical Center, that hospital, and Dr. Joel Summers stitched
Ronald
up my
Reagan
little guy
sent you,
Jack. Great doctor, great crew. Chill, and I said, what's going on here? You guys worried about this thing? And they said that's on a different side of the hospital. And I said, just anecdotally, what's going on? Hospitalization's going down. He goes, no, it's the same. He goes, we're expecting all the idiots from Labor Day who decided to get together. But, you could tell these poor guys were just like burned out. But anyways, props to UCLA Hospital and Joel Summers and the whole crew there. It's a good crew. Good crew of folks, and did a great job. All right, here we go. This is a good one. From Mini Max Pugs. You know those guys? They've
Not
got that
Steve
pug
Levy.
feed on Instagram. Right, not Steve Levy. Number one pet peeve, and this just happened to me over the weekend. Drivers that go the exact same speed in adjacent lanes
Oh,
for several
yeah.
miles without giving you a way to
I
pass.
spend 30 minutes a day trying to figure out like some kind of non-lethal way to shoot them, like to mark them. Like this fucker causes traffic.
Yeah.
like just like a sticker you could shoot from your car.
Yeah, you can extend that complaint to like anyone who thinks that traffic like happens to them and that they're not an active participant in the traffic. Like, someone who leaves like an 8-car length gap when it starts to move. It's like, no, this is why there's traffic. It's not like, ugh.
I
We'll all
think-
get there when we'll get there, people.
So we should get someone, a PhD thesis writer, or somebody who wants to do a thesis on crowd and traffic, and they can do something on, I call it clotting theory. That one person, people are just on automatic pilot,
Yeah.
and it's like they clot. They get together like atoms.
Well, they do.
And then they stick to each other, and it makes me fucking nuts. I think people get in the right lane, left lanes for passing. We've talked about this
Right.
1,000 times. But what is it about people liking to bunch up and clot?
There's
It's-
a book called Traffic that I have it at home. I'll give it to you. It's like a 200-page study of traffic.
I read
It's
one page
interesting.
of that book. Somebody sent me one page that said, basically, driving the way we drive helps traffic. There was one page that
Yes.
said, like, passing on the right, passing on the
Yeah.
left, zipping up in lanes, going in the shorter
if
lane, being
everybody took-
aggressive, actually
If
helps
everybody
traffic.
took like race car lessons, I don't know, high performance driving lessons,
Right.
I think traffic would be improved a billion fold.
Yeah,
me too.
Because you just
There's
learn how
a-
to be a little aggressive.
But
There's
you
an
are right
argument
about
for late merging, like
Yeah.
because
Exactly,
Yeah,
that's
because
what-
you're using empty available road
Space.
space as opposed to like being polite and like lining up and stacking one lane super deep. Yeah, it's an interesting book.
My wife pointed something out, and once she said, it, of course, it's 100% true. So, like, LA, before the pandemic, we had pretty bad traffic, right? After the pandemic, we had that magical month of, like, there was no one on the roads.
When everyone got 100-mile-an-hour tickets. like
Yes,
me.
but then traffic's
I got
not
mine
really back
delayed.
in terms of volume, but everyone just is driving so horrible.
Yeah.
And what it is, she's like, LA drivers are actually that bad, but because you were just sitting in 2-mile-an-hour traffic, you never noticed. Now that they're free to do whatever they want, they go 50 in the left lane.
Yeah,
all day,
yeah.
and it's horrible.
The
Hannah-
accident cases I'm getting, bigger accidents, worse injuries. Less
Because- why?
cases.
'Cause people are not paying
Yeah, this is
attention?
just anecdotal, but because there's less traffic on the road, less congestion, people are getting into accidents at higher speed and messing themselves up worse. I'm seeing worse injuries coming in.
Interesting. I think you're right about those clusters, Zuckerman.
Yeah,
To me, it's like baby ducks. They're like ducks following a mom.
Yeah.
Because I had a cluster of 3 on Sunset, and I was not as much mad this time as just going, what is the attraction? Like, I don't want to be next to other metal that close as you're going around turns, but they seem to be drawn to each other and comforted by the fact.
Have you seen the movie, like the films of like the red blood cells going through the arteries?
Right.
Yeah,
and then there's like a little pinch, and they bunch up, and they're all stuck there.
Yeah.
The Germans have it right. You go to the Autobahn, you just don't see that. Everybody's in the right lane.
That country's fallen off a cliff. It's so bad now. Or back when we could travel to the Autobahn.
Right.
It's so fun. I've done a lot of right hand passing in Germany because
have you?
Yeah, people will be going 90 kilometers an hour or whatever the equivalent is in the left lane.
Really?
Here we go. What's the deal with the current Jeep craze? Overpriced, terrible on the road, and that truck version is ugly as fuck. Says Scrickster.
You could have written that complaint any year for the last
75
years, and
yes.
There's no current Jeep craze. People like rugged-looking vehicles.
Yeah,
but
and
they don't drive that well.
No,
they
drive
terribly.
The new one's better, but I think since like 60 whatever percent of new cars sold are SUVs, having an authentic SUV is it's a better thing to have. And, the new Jeep is better. It is selling better. So you're seeing more, but I don't think it's a craze.
There's room in the world for Wranglers. I don't think it's a craze, though. I think it's pretty consistently been the same type of people for the entire time.
Yeah, and the Gladiator's cool. Like a pickup truck that looks a little different. Wah. That's not a good complaint.
It's crazy long. Really long.
It's not great at going off-road because it's just you catch on everything in the middle.
But with the Bronco and the Defender coming out, aren't they just this also-ran now? Aren't they just old news at this point?
The
Bronco.
Yeah, we don't really know what the Broncos are going to leave the showrooms at, but I don't know. I mean, the Wranglers are kind of pricey. The Defender's actually cheaper than people think.
Is a Defender how much? What does a good Defender go for?
A nice one is like 70.
Oh, okay.
But a nice Wrangler is 60, right? A Rubicon is 60. So to get the off-road capability of a Defender in a Wrangler, you're gonna have to get the Rubicon with the tires and the lockers and the disconnecting this. So the Defender comes pretty
cheap.
stock.
Can you get a Defender?
46 something for the 2-door 2-liter.
Oh, that's not terrible. Yeah.
No, and like an unlimited Wrangler Sahara. Yeah. They're about the 48.
Yeah.
So, but no, you're right. I mean, there's an argument to be made, but a Jeep is super modifiable, moddable, whatever the word is, and it really capable.
What can you do about that incredibly vague steering? All of that play in the steering
in the
wheel.
Wrangler?
Yeah,
nothing. Nothing. You can't do anything. But it's an off-road vehicle. I mean, you're buying something that's purpose-built to go over a rock.
Right. Yeah, I understand.
But it's better. I mean, the
if
new
you
one
off-road a Wrangler, it does make a lot of sense on the dirt. All that shit makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what else makes sense?
Oh, boy.
PolicyGenius.com. We love those guys.
Spin it up.
Policy Genius saves their home and auto customers an average of $1,127 a year by shopping top-rated insurers in one place. If you're thinking $1,127 is a weirdly specific amount, you're right, but they crunch the numbers, and that's just what it is. In fact, crunching numbers is one of the things Policy Genius does best. Their insurance marketplace makes it easy for you to compare rates from top home auto insurance companies to find you the best price. Here's how it works. All you have to do is go to PolicyGenius.com, answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property. After that, Policy Genius does all the work. They'll compare your existing policy against others in the market to make sure you're getting the right coverage at the best possible price. If Policy Genius finds a better rate than what you're currently paying, they'll get you switched for free. That's right. They'll extricate you from your horrible policy and get you into their cool one. That's the kind of service that has earned Policy Genius a 5-star rating across 1,600 reviews on Trustpilot and Google. So if you're a homeowner, if you own a car, head to PolicyGenius.com right now to get started. They've saved their home and auto insurance customers an average of $1,127 a year. Who knows what weirdly specific amount they could save you. PolicyGenius.com. I like them because they're that one-stop shopping for insurance, right? In an age where we need insurance for our toasters, suddenly you have 30 policies to pay. You go to this one place, you can get everything.
Yeah.
Boat, the whole deal, house, the rest of it. They're our buddies.
Save time, save money.
And,
Amen.
and if you go there, Zuckerman has promised not to sue them. So, if you want protection from the best shark in the business, go to policygenius.com. It's the one company Zuckerman fears the most.
What other complaints you got there?
So many. When browsing on car classified sites, filtering by manual transmission and sellers list F1s, Touchtronics, autos, and PDKs as manual transmissions. We want the third pedal.
Yeah,
And that's
agreed.
the dishwar. You agree? I don't even know what he's saying. What is he saying?
When people
It's
put
representation.
People list F1 gearboxes as
Like
as
a Ferrari
manual.
F1 as a
Right,
manual.
I see.
Not
Yeah.
a manual.
Well, the
That's
originals were, because if you didn't shift it, you'd blow the engine up. So
Here's a good one from AHarb30 in a car ad. Contact me for price. Just show me the goddamn price. Why does it have to be a secret?
one.
I agree with
I
this.
hate that so much.
I'm never calling you.
I will literally never call you.
In this day and age where everybody posts prices, we want
and
instant
it's
gratification.
not like they have a one of one ever. It's
Right.
not like it's like, oh, it's the McLaren F1 LM in non-papaya from.
Yeah.
This
from
is a
the
really
Sultan of
big
Brunei,
mistake when you're selling a car, right?
If you're
I
if
think
you're
so.
selling a '57 Bugatti Adelante Gangloff, then maybe you can get away with that.
Because for insurance purposes, you want to
Yeah.
not publicize the
I'm
price.
still subscribed
but
to
still,
like
I
the
think-
DuPont registry, and there's what really annoys me. It's one thing on Craigslist. It's another to spend money printing an ad in a magazine, and then and a magazine that people only buy to browse and look at the prices
At airports.
At airports,
yeah.
and then you put the call for price. Ugh.
Yeah,
And
I
no
would
one does
imagine
that.
you're losing, I don't know, 25% of possible buyers
Yeah.
who are just going to go.
or higher because you got to, unless you're 17 years old, it's not like some great deal, that it's more than it's worth. So you're not going to call.
But car purchases, they tend to be impulsive, like a Thursday afternoon, and maybe you've got the money in that moment, and when I see the call for price, the excitement just disappears. Then now I
Totally.
can't do this quickly.
Yeah.
I've got to get on with some dink.
Yeah,
And
that's the thing.
I'm
You know,
not having-
you
try to
know
sell
they're
me.
gonna,
I
gonna
don't-
fuck you around.
I would rather have the dink conversation after
rather
I
have a-
know that I'm going to be a player for this car.
I'd rather have a buy it now button.
right.
Yeah.
Forget that. Forget skip the call for price. Buy it now.
A swipe.
Click.
How about a swipe?
Yeah.
Swipe now to
Click.
buy.
Done.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, because you just know. Because anytime you buy or sell anything, it's just going to be way more headache than whatever the result's going to be.
Yeah.
So this just adds to that.
That's why I like going no reserve on Bring a Trailer. Just fucking fling it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
gets
It's
what
gone.
it'll,
It's over.
I'll represent it well, and it'll get whatever the market says it's worth.
Right.
Done.
All right, here's
Yeah.
one that really I can relate to that I hate just as much. This is from Ad Hoc Adventures on Instagram. How about those chat windows that pop up so persistently when you're on a dealer website? The "Can I help you?" It's Mindy with some fake face. Hi, Mindy's here. Can I help you with something? Are those even people? What are they? We need to stop these.
I've
agree with
closed
that.
every single one that's
Yeah,
ever
But
popped up.
they tend to open up when you go to the next. You look
Yeah.
at a truck.
They just want to hook you. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. They want their claws in you.
aren't you entitled to a minute of private time on the site looking around before Clinky goes,
I mean,
"Hey,
Spike,
can I help you?"
think you're entitled to
You've been
something.
on
I am.
Pornhub lately. I mean, come on.
Why
So
is
you
the
would-
robot asking me if I'm a robot? I'm not going to answer this.
I don't want to be if I'm looking on like the Land Rover site on a Saturday night. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to answer your Clippy's questions. Can I help you? No, I'll call.
Yeah,
I'm with
it
you.
It probably is a human. Actually, it probably
It
isn't
is.
probably not sitting in that dealer.
is it?
It's
Not
Right,
anyone
exactly.
that can
No,
help
it's a
you.
corporate. Corporate.
No one
response
that can
center.
help.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Trust
again, I
me.
mean, it's just one of those disconnects between dealerships and potential customers. Sometimes people do just want to do research on Ford.com, and you wind up at a dealer site on accident, and you're just looking around. You just want some info.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, it's a breathing entity. Like, get them, get $500 a month out of them. That's their job."
All right,
so.
Stuart Morris. F1, Formula One is pissing him off. Lewis Hamilton is not the best driver ever. he has the best car, and the rules have not changed much in the turbo hybrid era. And that's his complaint. I like Lewis Hamilton's
I think Lewis
persona.
is pretty goddamn
I mean,
good.
if he's not the best, he's top 3 all time. I mean,
but
he's
he's really splitting hairs
Yeah.
at that point.
yeah.
Well, Stuart Morse is pissed.
Dude, but anyone ever say this about Schumacher? Like, you remember that magazine, The Road Rat, how they put Hamilton on the cover of issue 1?
Yeah.
And all these people wrote in, like, and it's like, yeah, he is black, and I think a lot of people just, they
Reacting?
have to, when you say Lewis Hamilton, they have to immediately say, not the greatest ever. They never said that about Schumacher. They never said that about Senna at a time when, like, Fangio was probably the greatest ever.
Right.
By
You
the
know?
way, when you're that
So-
good for that long, you get the best car. That's
Yeah.
how that system works.
Yeah.
You're like amazing.
When you've been the best ever for a
He's
while.
so good. Yeah, you're so good
Yeah,
for
yeah.
so long, you get the best car. That's how that system.
How do you? Here's a
up.
more pressing question. How do I watch F1? Jack, my kids and I want to watch it, and every Sunday morning we make this failed attempt.
PrivateInternetAccess.com.
How do you do it?
My sponsor. It's a private VPN.
Go ahead and pitch them. I don't mind.
I don't have to.
But
But that's how you do it. You can watch it by using a VPN to convince the internet that you're in another country.
Oh well, we have a VPN. We have a VPN.
Sneaky.
You
All
have
right,
a
I'm going to read
VPN?
my ad for my VPN.
yeah. I don't let me step on your VPN.
Forget about that VPN.
I don't have a
Sorry.
VPN.
Feel free. Whoever's
Forget about
editing
that.
this
I
to
don't even
bleep
know
out my
podcast.
code.
What am I doing
don't care.
here?
Yes.
You know, there are tons of VPN providers like Matt's, but they're not as good as ExpressVPN. And that's exactly what they do. Aside from not logging your data, lots of really cheap or free VPNs make money by selling your data. Not ExpressVPN, and I've been using them too. And what you just said, I've been using them for. You can tell it to put your internet access through another country, and then you can watch their shows.
Geo-restricted content, right?
Right.
It
And-
really works if, say, you go on a press launch to a country that might have some Sharia law going
Yeah.
on, and then you can tell the internet that you're in a different country so you can get your Netflix to work.
Well, I got Blackadder
Or
to come
China.
on.
Or China.
Yeah,
In
China's the
England.
one I worry about.
And I used ExpressVPN, and it was awesome. There's all this stuff to read in the ad. All I'm going to tell you is they sent me the link. I downloaded it in seconds. It's a little button. I press the button, and boom, I can be wherever I want, whatever part of the world I want. And like you said, you can watch things you can't watch in the U.S., like Blackadder, like Formula One racing. So go to expressvpn.com/spike911, my name, my favorite car today, and get an extra 3 months free or on a 1-year package. Wow, 3 free months on a 1-year package. I'm using it right now. I can't clip my
Here,
dog's
turn it
penis
on.
hair with
Turn
it.
it on my phone.
But you can
say
watch
you're
it,
using it right now. Click the
ladyboy.com.
little button on my
Oh,
phone.
yeah,
and
okay.
and you're on.
There it is.
There it
Boom.
is. Boom.
It goes right
You're-
on your
you're my
phone. That's
VP.
it. It's a little
Where
slide
are
on
we?
the phone.
What country are we in?
It's on. You want me to switch countries?
Go
Hold
to,
on.
go to
He
Holland.
switches it
We're
right
going
now.
to be in. Oh, you want to go to Amsterdam?
Yeah,
I
it's just
see.
there's
Senegal.
free love in Amsterdam.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
All you need to do is go to expressvpn.com/spike911, expressvpn.com/spike911. You got to use a VPN. And if you're going to use one, use ExpressVPN. All right, some more complaints.
More.
Because I can see Zuckerman is about to complain to me that the show's going too long. But you know,
That's
Zuckerman,
how you
listeners,
watch F1, by the way, is through ExpressVPN.
There it is.
Yeah, in America.
really? Well,
Yeah.
what country is broadcasting
Sky
Formula One
Sports
for free?
F1. Sky Sports
England?
F1. BBC.
Yeah, I mean, I think every other country but
All
us. Yeah.
other countries.
And here they
I
just
think
charge
every
you for
other
it, right?
country.
Every country that has universal health care also has free F1.
Well, this is a legitimately crazy
What
issue.
do we get for our taxes?
Yeah.
We don't get
Wow,
F1.
that's really
We
wow,
don't
that
get
is the
healthcare.
greatest thing that's come out in this show. You've just solved a very big problem for
problems.
me. 2 big problems. Thank you, Matt Farah. All right. And thank you, Stuart Morris, for bringing it up, even though you're completely wrong about Lewis Hamilton. The fact that Zillow doesn't have – this is good, Evo Mike. Zillow doesn't have inside the garage pics. I totally agree with that.
That has to do with the sellers, man. Complain to the sellers of those homes.
Does it? It's one of the first – when I'm browsing houses, it's one of the
Absolutely.
first places
Yeah.
I go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
That's just
Absolutely.
real estate agents, because most real estate agents never think to take a picture
Yeah.
of the garage.
Yeah. It's
But
very
again,
important.
cars are $1 billion industry with collectors. The guy's going to look. They're mostly making those decisions, I would guess.
But if you're in LA, it doesn't even matter. But you know why? West Side Collector Car Storage. We're here for
Which
you.
brings me to my fourth sponsor. No,
Dude, we're killing it right now. We're making sales left and right. We're slamming this.
yeah,
week.
we
It's
had
awesome.
a nice time over there. It's beautiful.
Dude, it's really great.
I do want to smoke a cigar over there. Oh no!
Oh yeah, let's do that.
I was
Our
just too
deck
tired.
is open, and my friend Dave, Johnny, the bourbon collector
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
on your level,
Yeah.
gave me some Weller Private Reserve, like super nice.
Oh, I had that the other
Well, when
night.
can
That's
we
good.
do
crack
this?
It's not
into.
quite on my level, but yeah,
Why
it's
not?
pretty
close.
good. It's a pretty nice little gift.
Yeah, yeah.
Why not a Friday night?
Let's do it on Friday.
Let's-
I'm ready on
Yeah.
Friday.
Can't do
Yes.
Friday night, but you know, next week.
I gotta.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Henningshorn Altung, and I've noticed
Altung.
this as well, Mr. Henning. The ridiculous price hike premium car manufacturers are putting on options like Apple CarPlay. In other words, making people pay for Apple CarPlay. Your thoughts?
I mean, look, Ferrari.
4,200 on the F8.
$4,200, and you buy a Kia Seltos, and
It's included.
for $4,200 out the door, and you get CarPlay. And but Ferrari literally charges. I think it went up because it was 4,000 a few
The
years
yellow
ago.
F8 Spider I
Yeah.
drove was a
So-
$4,200
I
option.
applaud Ferrari for that. Actually, I think that's
Wow.
awesome. Good for them.
And you
And then
have
they're
to
gonna
take
cut it
it
by
because
$3
that
grand,
stereo
and
is
yeah.
so old at this point.
Yeah.
It was the same, and from 2010 it goes back to.
I-
so if you don't take it, you're stuck with a 2010 stereo.
That's not
hats
right.
off to Ferrari. Everyone else, yeah, you could probably throw it in for free.
Does Ferrari get me into the CVS club? What does that cost?
I don't know,
it
but
doesn't
I'll tell you
matter.
something no one knows. The reason that they would charge is because Apple and Google Android are charging them for the technology.
Yeah.
So
Really?
yeah.
So some companies are just eating it.
Yeah, I don't know how much it is, but I got into probably the most scared I've ever been in my life was I did a story on a 911, and they had Apple, but I think they still don't have Android.
Nope.
And I said, why don't you have Android? And this one engineer who should not have said this is like, well, they collect vehicle data and they're building their own electric car or autonomous car, so we don't want to give them our secret sauce. I published that.
That's fair.
I'm standing on a volcano in Hawaii, and the PR lady from Google calls me, and she's like, "Hi, this is Google. We'd like you to change your story." And I'm like, "Oh fuck! Like,
Oh, no.
this is a powerful person.
Yeah.
You know, like if Google
Wow.
decides they don't like Motor Trend, we're in trouble. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well then just go ahead and tell me what data you are collecting, and I'll change it. And she's like, "Oh no, we don't release that." I'm like, "Well." We have a problem, and that turned out that was actually whatever year that was the biggest story we did because like every Silicon Valley
yeah, they all
blog picked up on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is
So-
this story I keep hearing out of Massachusetts where there's a data sharing driving thing and they've been scaring people about it?
I have no
that,
idea.
That stalkers and kidnappers can use it to find their way to your home. Do you have a whiff of that story? Have you heard that story?
I
It
have no
seems
idea.
like
I have not.
nonsense, but
I mean, your location data is perhaps the most valuable data about you. You would get almost anything else you need from the location data.
Already in California, there is a public records site where there are certain license plate readers out there
Yeah.
that will track where you have been, where you're going, that kind of thing. If you've got one of the fast passes, or you're going, or a police car passes you with a license plate reader, that's already happening here in the state of California.
Can
to a large
private
extent.
citizens access that data and search by plate?
I can as a lawyer. I think private citizens could probably join and pay the money too if they wanted to.
What if you drive 5 different cars a week?
That's very interesting.
little
And what if
harder.
That's my secret.
that's
what
your
if you
iPhone
drive-
tracking you, of course.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Listen, it's much harder to get away with murder these days.
Yeah, I
you know,
know,
Forensic
I know.
Files is going to have a never-ending stream of stories, people who get undone by their technology.
Yeah.
Don't I know it?
Yes. Don't you know it?
Well, and connected car. I mean, you know, I just drove the Polestar 2, which is a pretty nice car, actually. I really did enjoy it in a lot of ways. It was really cool. It's like a better built Model 3.
Yeah.
But it's Google everything.
Right.
Everything runs through Google on it. It's built in China.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It's owned
yeah,
by
yeah,
Forget
yeah,
about
yeah.
Google.
The Chinese company
Communist Party is selling
that
you a car.
Have, you know, that you have to have a really in order to get your money's worth with the car. You got to have a connected Google account. The car's listening to you talk. The car, you know, the whole thing, and you go, Jesus, this is maybe a little too much. Like,
Shit is listening to you, Matt?
will you
Tesla.
talk?
Your all of our phones are listening right
Tesla's,
now.
I heard Tesla's doing that with inward-facing
Oh,
cameras. and
Tesla's been
microphones.
doing that since day
Right.
one. I mean,
Yeah.
Think about that.
we
Never
did,
buying one of those things.
We did the
Never
very
buying one of
first test of the Model S way back in the day. and we were doing this range test. We were going to drive from our office to San Diego and back, and the car was like 4 miles from the office, and it said 3 miles of range left, and Kim Reynolds was driving, so he's about to exit the freeway, and the car starts texting him like, "You can make it. Don't listen to the readout. We know what you're doing." Like, because they're just watching. They can watch everything you do.
Like somebody on
and Tesla is sitting there.
Yeah.
They knew what we were doing. I mean, we had Elon's
What does
car.
that mean
but still.
for you, Jonny Lieberman, having sex in cars? Will you not have sex in the Tesla?
I
Or
like how
does
I'm
that
the
turn
only
you on?
person
The
in the
worst
world to
porn
have sex
ever.
in a car. You've seen
But
worse
it's a
porn.
legitimate question.
You've seen worse porn, Paul. Don't
Oh
even.
God, there's some.
I'm asking you a real question. Will
Yeah.
you have
I
sex in
will
a Tesla or
turn
not?
in a Tesla? Sure. Because
Elon, check this out.
yeah, Elon's bored. No, I mean,
Will that add to your pleasure, knowing that people could be watching
I'm
you?
not
Are you-
British. I don't know. That's. Could you have sex in a Tesla? They're not that spacious.
They're not. Yeah.
You know.
Can you fold
That
down
new
the you get to
Lucid.
Fold down. I haven't seen it in person. Is it
It's
cool?
it's really neat. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean,
Elon's 30 feet under the ground, watching Lieberman on a screen.
He's gonna dig
Having
a tunnel
more hair
underneath
plugs
your
put
house
in.
just to get it.
Now they're gonna have not just ludicrous mode, Lieberman mode. Put it in, and then lights dim, and the wacka wacka music comes
Matt,
on.
will you just tell these guys you've had sex in a car?
I have. It was not comfortable.
All right.
For
See?
someone of my size, it's not.
I
it's
had
not
to.
good.
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
AMC.
Minivans. That's why I'm pro minivan.
A McGinnis too says little less politics, both sides. That is. I go here.
Fucking yawn.
Wait, listen. I go here. HEAR to escape politics.
Go
Have we
somewhere
touched
I'd like
else.
to escape politics, too.
Have we even talked about politics?
Kind of, maybe. A little.
A. McGinnis, let me tell you how a podcast works. The guy who hosts it talks whatever he talks about whatever he fucking wants, and the people on it, they can say whatever they want to. So that's it.
That's how that-
Mike McGee. Man says he blew through work zone on 170, 87 mile per hour police chase to go show off new Audi RS7. Why does Corona Quiet entitle Audi drivers to drive near 200 miles an hour on public roads?
Man.
I think his complaint is more about Audi drivers speeding in general and being more aggressive.
Audi drivers.
I don't agree
I
with
don't
that
find
either.
Audi to be a very aggressive car.
I mean,
Pickup truck drivers here in LA, I do. I find them to be a very aggressive, not the construction people and not our like Mexican gardener folks. Those people are great. But dude, maybe contractor guys in big trucks,
General contractor in a wrap.
Yeah.
They got big V8s. I would just say with Audi, like if you buy a Porsche or an M in this country or an AMG, all the speed limiters are removed in the U.S. Audi still has them on the RS stuff. And so you're limited to 155 unless you pay extra to get rid of the limiter, except for the R8.
Who do you find to
so.
be the most aggressive brand driver? Not that you can stereotype any
Rental.
one type.
Rental.
Wait,
second
okay,
second to
Lamborghini.
rental, Dodge Charger by far.
Oh,
Dodge,
yeah, very
Dodge
good.
Charger,
Challenger,
Challenger.
yeah.
You got to get into that whole Mustang, Camaro
no, but
thing.
Dodge
you're right,
Chargers
Dodge.
are really, really
You're
aggressive
so right.
It's not
people.
the
drive
Hellcat
Chargers.
guys. It's the 392 guys that have changed the cam.
Yeah.
They are. I was in a. I think I told this story. Might have told it here, but I was in a McLaren GT. Which is like they say 600, but it's 800 horsepower. And this guy on the what freeway, the 134, is trying to like roll race me in his 392 Challenger, and I hit 170 before he got into the next gear. But like Matt's 100% right. 100% right.
Wow. I find them to be the dumb drivers slow in the left lane.
No, look for the 392 badge.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
That's the badge.
Or
right.
Rumblebee.
Yeah, from the
Let's see. There's right turn on red tickets. Yeah, we all hate those. Those suck.
Those suck.
Thundercat. He's got 3 in 9 days. Well, gotta fucking stop. All right.
He's got to
that
You're
could
gonna
be
lose your
an
license,
issue.
dude.
Yeah.
Go to AA.
Percan Abarth. More complaints and stories about Fireball. When are you going to battle him? I don't know that Fireball really is responsible. We got into this on Matt's podcast this week. We hear it's Sephora. So
I don't think
if-
I never said he was responsible. By the way, I just reported on what he was physically doing there, which
Yeah.
was standing at the entrance, aiding and abetting the people who were shutting it
Correct.
down
And he's funny to talk about because his name is Fireball.
Yeah,
And, you know,
and because he runs another Cars and Coffee. And when
Bills.
someone who runs another Cars and Coffee participates actively in the takedown of one Cars and Coffee,
Yes.
A plus B equals C, people.
If anybody out there knows Fireball, please tell him to DM me. I would love to have him in and chat with him about all of this. But right now, it's Sephora.
And Marmalade.
And one of our listeners' daughters, and it's really not her fault. She's also a car fan, so don't blame her. Niesdeck says, you got to stop cutting off Zuckerman's rants and tangents. Just let the man complain! Exclamation. Do you feel cut off, Zuckerman?
All the time.
You feel- okay.
Somebody was saying the
Usually
other
by
day,
a judge.
Somebody was saying the other day, though, that like it's so nice that Zuckerman has come out of his shell. I was reading a
Yes.
comment, and
He
I
has,
agree.
I've noticed.
When I first started doing this show, whenever that was, I was like, I've heard of Paul because you're friends with Steve Levy, and Steve always speaks highly of you. But you were quiet and a little reserved, and then ladies' pads happened.
No, Zuckerman is being his true self now. It
Yeah,
happens
it's great.
with talent when they're on the air. Eventually, they stop pretending to be someone else and they just be themselves. And we love Zuckerman for it. But I'm going to cut him off whatever I want. No, he knows that. We have a good. It's hard to play second fiddle to someone like me. And I can't do his job. I've tried it before. I've tried to be the Artie Lang. I've tried to be that
I
guy.
thought you meant a lawyer. I was like,
I definitely can't do
trying
that.
to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
No, I mean I can't sit next to someone hosting. I don't have that ability, and Zuckerman has a talent for it, and lots of people in the
That's
business.
hard. That's hard for me to do too.
Yeah, it's
for
hard for
obvious
you. I'm
reasons.
sure for us to even. It's just something that happens. But he's great at it. And we
I
love
work
Zuckerman.
well with others, so
You do, and this is going great. It's a love fest here, everybody. Guys that say mob is a complaint.
That's just me. He's just saying he doesn't like me.
That's Robert Goulet.
If you don't like my vernacular, fucking
It's
find
you and
another car.
Scotto.
What do you want from me? I don't know.
you and
Okay.
Scotto.
You know what I hate? How you talk. All right. Fucking find someone else. Like, what do you want me to do?
Okay, how about when I was out?
I'll talk to these other 984,000 people.
This is a complaint about Zuckerman from Vodor.
Can we just insult Farah because his comebacks are really good?
No, I won't let my guests be insulted. Vodor 007, how about when I was out in the garage detailing my car the other morning, listening to the podcast over a Bluetooth speaker with the door up while waiting to hear about the Bentley, and a lady walks past my driveway with her dog as Zuckerman says, I told you my dog takes Viagra. And she looked upset, and I was embarrassed.
That's awesome.
a laughing complaint to you, Zuckerman.
Okay,
Why
but-
were we talking about dog Viagra? Oh, your
My
dog
dog
does
takes
take Viagra.
Viagra.
That's
It's good
right,
for his heart.
right.
Really?
Viagra they were trying to create a heart pill. They came
yeah.
up with Viagra, and a bunch of old guys with heart conditions had boners.
That's
and
really
they
funny.
said, ta-da, yes,
So does your
Blockbuster.
dog get boners too?
No, no, nothing happens, thank God.
But you have the stash that is
Yes,
really
and I have his codeine cough medicine also. We could have a real party.
It's a party over there.
Yeah.
too bad it's like
Sloppy
tuna
boner
flavored.
time.
I think we're gonna get all our dogs together. You know what I'm saying?
Just Back has a very relatable complaint, too, which I happen to agree with. You join a forum, car forum, brand-specific technical forum.
First mistake.
Then you ask a technical question, and their consensus is, if you don't know this, you need to sell the car, just in basic.
Yeah.
That attitude,
Yeah.
I can't stand in the car world.
But also, that's a wrong strategy. You should never ask a question on a forum. If you want the answer to something on a forum, you post the wrong answer. Very effectively, and the real answer,
Same guys.
the real answer will find you in short order.
Why can't people be nice? Why can't you say, hey, look, I'm new.
Yeah.
I just got the car,
Yeah.
and I'm at the beginning of my learning about it.
So-
Why do you have to be a dick?
So this morning I got the Panamera over there, and I drove it away, and the steering wheel heater was on, and I was like digging through the menu, and I can't find the steering wheel heater button. It's still hidden, but as you can't even
still
see
the
it now.
taint of the wheel.
It's the taint of the wheel, but now before you could see the taint, now the taint is hidden,
Buried.
Right. And so I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna Google real quick, right? Because my mind doesn't work so well anymore. And first result was a forum, and somebody asked that, and it was literally like, no one told them where it was. They're like, how could you not know this? like, what kind of a Porsche owner are you? Is this your first Porsche? And I was like, oh, fuck.
I see it on watch forums a lot.
Oh,
on,
yeah,
like
sure.
Reddit watches and stuff
Yeah,
is where
yeah.
you see it. I think it comes down to
Is that like the guys who want to know, like, the caliber number?
Well, they want to know, like, what something is worth, or if it's fake, or like that people put a post like super, super terrible fakes,
Right.
and be like, oh, I found this, like, is it, whatever. But I think a lot of people don't use the search function to find similar questions that have already been asked
100
maybe.
times. Yeah.
I bought this motorcycle 2 weeks ago to park in my lobby. It's an 82 Honda CX500 Turbo. It's awesome, but it had a cracked turn signal. So I was like, all right, here we go. Searching for the turn signal. The only thing I found was a forum post for 2013 in which, just like Spike said, someone asked for the turn signal, and then 10 people dogpiled on this guy for even attempting to find the turn signal. Like, oh, you're looking for one of those? Everyone knows those don't exist anymore. Meanwhile, Vinny Russo found one 3D printed in South Africa.
Sure.
Exact reproduction, 3D printed. Very
I
cool
love
stuff.
that stuff.
Did you guys
That's
see?
very
It
satisfying.
looks perfect.
This is the
Those guys are heroes, true heroes.
The craziest forum, of course, is the Tesla owners forum.
Oh, God,
because it's a
no.
religious thing.
yeah.
So God bless them, but on the Model Ys that are being
Because
built,
Lord Elon.
yeah, there's this like heat exchanger thing that's like strapped in, and they literally went to Home Depot and bought like fake wooden molding. So you have your
Like
Model
crown
Y.
molding for a bedroom?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Right? So, like, that's wrong for a whole number of reasons. The primary one being, like, automotive components. They go through serious heat cycling, cold cycling, humidity, salt content. Like,
Fire
they're really
testing, perhaps?
Fire testing. They go through stuff that, like,
Flammability.
shit
Actual
for
engineering.
yeah. Well, forget about the engineering. Just, like, they get shaken for 100,000 miles in a shaker, right?
Yeah.
And, which your house molding never goes through. The people making the excuses for this molding, it's like people excusing Trump for lying to Bob Woodward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like, well, there's a master plan. It turns out that part is insignificant, so that's why it can be. It was literal insanity. Wow. Like literal. You got to read it. It's
like the one before that was the tablet, the giant 17-inch tablet screen on the Model S is not an automotive grade screen. No one makes an automotive grade screen that big. So they use like an industrial equipment grade screen, which experienced like massive failure rates, and they need to be replaced.
What's the failure?
The vibrations and the heat cycling and all
He's
this.
not,
yeah.
What about the glass in your
the
face?
screen,
it won't
the
smash.
screens like go like all crazy and wonky,
Yeah.
and they have to replace the
yeah.
whole thing. It's just not meant for it.
Yeah, like if you ever go to a car proving ground, you'll see like cars just baking in Arizona. They just cut them into pieces and let everything sit in the sun for 6 months. And then they have these rooms that are like 100% humidity with salt, 100% humidity without salt. And they look at all the components and want to see what the duty cycle's like.
The 2019 was 2019 the last year. The C7 ZR1 was 19, right?
Oh, yes.
So I went on the press launch for the 2019 ZR1, which has the performance data recorder camera. So it's a forward-facing camera behind the rearview mirror that also does an overlay of like your telemetry and the lap times, right? Well, it's like a 720p camera. It's not a good camera. And I'm going, guys, what the fuck? Your $130,000 car has a 720p camera. This is ridiculous. He goes, there is no 4K camera or whatever, like high-res camera, that will survive the duty cycle of living at the top of a windshield for 10 years. Doesn't exist.
Right.
He goes, this is the only camera that we could buy that actually will survive the 10-year like duty cycle of this Corvette ZR1.
So that's the difference. GM has a century or more of lawyers after them, where Tesla doesn't. So Tesla will put a 8K camera in there, which will break in a minute.
Yeah.
And GM's like, we're going to give you low quality, but it'll work. It's like Toyota, too.
It'll
like,
work, yeah.
That Toyota 3.5-liter V6 is 20 years old because it's paid for itself 7 billion times without a recall.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
No one likes it, but it works.
Actually, in the TRD Camry with the sport exhaust, it really does sound almost Lotus-like. They get pretty close. It's kind of cool.
I mean, from what I understand, the Lotus, all they change is the cams, which is, of course, the only part on the Lotus that breaks in the engine.
All right, let's just do a couple more, and then we'll get you guys out of here. How can Maserati release the MC20 without a manual transmission?
They know their
Easily.
customer.
Yeah.
They just did.
Those two guys that won't buy it, they'll survive.
What do you guys think about that car? I just drove the Levante Trofeo, which I think I was talking to you about,
Yeah.
right, Matt? At first, I was not very impressed. It felt cheap inside, but then I started driving it like a fast car, and then I really loved it.
Yeah,
right?
it's good. It's really good at going fast.
But then I saw
actually.
the price, and I went $170,000. Well, wait.
Yeah.
But I'm still intrigued by it. As this
good.
gentleman's
we
option.
just did a comparison though with like modern fast SUVs, and like, boy, that by itself, it's a really lovely car. But
Yeah.
like,
Put it next
the
to
new
Farah.
X6M like just puts it on the trailer. It's just
Yeah.
it's sad actually.
What
But
was good about it though, that double wishbone front rear, it really like takes mid corner bumps really, really well.
so do you know Chris Walton? I work with Chris Walton.
don't think
Super
so.
fast. Been in the business
Yeah.
30 years. Super fast driver. Weighs 130 pounds. Is even quicker. One of them.
Yeah.
Good at karting.
Oh, they're so annoying when they're so light. And
I
so good
hate
at
skinny
karting.
people. Remember Fat Guy Karting League?
Yes, it was awesome.
Anyhow,
I
so
hate skinny people.
we had
Hear
a
that? Woke wheels. He hates skinny people. Get that in there. Get that onto your feed. Put Lieberman in.
so it was like we had like an X3M competition. I forget the other cars. Probably let's just say it was the X6M or the
whatever,
AMG or whatever. And Chris was in the Levante and like couldn't even keep up.
Really?
Couldn't even. We're on
On
Angeles
its own,
Crest.
it's quite nice.
Yeah, that's again. You put it next to any other car.
So is a Supra.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You put a
I-
Supra next to a Cayman, and it's like, oh yeah,
or a
right.
Mustang. I don't even think the Supra's that nice, but anyways.
But
yeah.
I drove it on the press launch, and it was like,
Sure.
oh, okay, this is fine. It's all right,
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
compared to a bunch of other stuff, it was like, wah, wah.
Stuart Morse is back. He made a lot of complaints on our feed. He was the F1 guy, Lewis Hamilton. Listen to this one. I think he must be drinking when he's posting this 21
Drinking
hours
hours.
ago. Why do we still have line judges in tennis?
As opposed to what,
It's been here for years.
Yeah.
Same with umpires in baseball.
yeah.
Okay,
to
Stuart.
employ people, like
And
to
another
give
thing.
people jobs.
Stuart's, I think, telling jokes.
That's how.
You guys sold your Touring and your GT2 RS. Well, we've pulled the GT2 RS back, right?
Yes.
It's now back.
Isn't that it?
There's another.
Are there any Plan C's in the works? I don't think so. We're driving new Porsches, but I'll bet a GT3 is in our future.
What were we gonna buy together the other day? That was cheap.
We were going to
What
get
were
a
we talking-
Mulsanne.
Oh, Mulsanne.
And
Talk
share
about
it?
roomy
Yeah.
for sex
Yeah.
in the car.
All right, let's find a good one to
Not
get,
really
get
that
out
roomy, but
on
great
here.
car.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Well made.
Like freight train.
Yeah. Oh, the
Show me.
speed.
There's a lot of back and forth about true full and true empty. I have that car and filled up the Zagato, and I felt so good when it went to full. I think a lot of people misunderstood. A lot of people misunderstood the situation.
No, I
but
think they understood.
the fuel sender in the Zagato, when you filled up the tank full, it only showed 3/4 pinned. It could
Okay.
never show true full.
Got it.
Or that psychologically happy place for me north of the F. After I fill up, I feel like I got
Full
money.
plus.
Full plus. I get happy. I feel like I can drive again.
Yeah.
So
That's
Will
like
Hoy
when,
told
that's
us.
when it's one drop away from coming out the filler,
Yes.
where you get like
Yeah.
a meniscus.
But so what I was feeling, and I will
word.
fully acknowledge that logically Zuckerman is right, and all of you, 75% of you who said Zuckerman's right, are right. That the right thing to do is to know when you're about to run out. But that wasn't the question. For me, what I was trying to say was what feels better.
Oh.
And to me, what feels better is I've got a full tank of gas and a true full plus. And then when it goes down, like any old 356 I drive, usually at a quarter, I know I probably don't have a quarter.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
my Speedster or any other one. So I always fill up at a quarter.
I had what was I driving today? Mazda CX-30, which could probably go 1,000 miles on a tank.
Is that not a 3, not a CX-3?
It's
What's a
a
30?
new little jacked up mini SUV
Oh, okay.
thing, big back seat, strange car. Anyhow, it was like over a quarter, and I have to fill it up because even though I know there's probably 200 miles left, I anything
Mentally.
below half, I freak out.
Yeah.
I just freak out.
My little red
I'm with
car,
Spike.
which is now at the Peterson, courtesy of Jonny. Did we talk about the fuel tanks on the Countach and why they're interesting? Dual fuel tanks, the saddle tanks, one on each side, 15 gallons each, right? With a 1.5 inch crossover pipe that goes between them. So there's one filler on the passenger side. So you fill it until it clicks,
And then you wait.
And then you got to sit there for 5 minutes while it goes the other side. And then you fill it again until it clicks, and you wait for it. And you have to repeat this 4 times. And then by the time it's done, you still aren't sure if you're full. I have no idea what full is. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't know how many rounds of this it would take to get full. I've never been there.
I just love that they were building supercars, but they couldn't get.
They couldn't figure this out.
Like seats baffled them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jaguar had the XJ6 with dual fuel tanks, and you could fill either side. It was
so that's
there.
nice.
It was right there at the time, in the mid
early
'70s.
Countachs you could fill from both sides at the same time.
Yes, I've seen
Gee,
that.
but-
There's a famous. I think it was a Cannonball, a car and driver Cannonball, where they had the two
one on each
pumps
side.
in.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
But mine is just I don't know what full is. I have no idea. I've never seen it, and I get the gauge pretty close. And then once I drive the car and slough it back and forth a little bit, it just goes to half, and it
Right.
sits at half like the whole rest
But
of the
that's
time.
also like a 8 mile a gallon car.
It's horrible. I have no idea how much gas I'm burning because I don't know what full is.
Right.
So it on a good day, it's probably 8. Yeah.
So the 2RS is coming back, and they fixed that. You don't have this on the white car, do you?
No.
When you close the door, those air intakes over the rear wheels, they vibrated.
Nope.
And they fixed that. So Porsche Santa Clarita said we figured out what it was, and they tightened them up. So I guess
Sounds
the
like
car
bad
is going to
glue.
come back. It's not for sale now, but if you want to buy it, you should DM me or Zuckerman, and we'll figure it out. And Moise plans to take it. He's overjoyed now. I don't know why. This thing was a 2 versus 1 vote. Remember, you both
Right.
said we want to get rid of it. I was hiking in Azusa, and I came out of the hills, and I said, all right, whatever, guys, it's fine. Now, Moise seems to completely have turned around, and you seem to be indifferent. So what changed?
We didn't get the right price.
Right.
And if it's just going to sit there, let's drive the fuck out of it.
Okay.
Okay. If it's not selling,
What-
drive it. It's not.
What's a GT2 RS going for in this COVID-y market?
over
335 is where the car was advertised.
So they're way down from the insane peaks of...
Yeah. But, in the right spec like ours, it's an incredible car. Ours is chock with a Visoc package.
Not arguing that. I just,
And I also think these are great cars. Here, that leads to just a natural question. I don't know if you guys saw this post. Oh, we talked about that. Did you see that post, Jonny Lieberman? I want to show you and just get your opinion. 'cause
yes.
we did
It's
discuss
the
it on
prototype
Matt's.
of the next possibly GT2 RS or something.
This
with that
right
with
here.
the wing,
Yeah, the wing,
top
yeah.
mount wing.
Do you
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that is a GT2 RS prototype seen in Germany or
Yes.
or what?
I would say that's what it is because we've seen the GT3 wing, which is kind of that with not quite as like ironing board looking.
Right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Wow. So there you go.
So,
well,
yeah.
then that's another reason maybe to sell this current GT2
they're
RS.
going to do a GT2, so Yeah,
but that
that's
top
awesome.
mount thing is pretty aggressive.
I love it.
It's cool. It's just
yeah.
very aggressive
I
for a
love it.
street car. It's
I love it.
intense.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're out of time.
No.
Zuckerman's got to get back to work. We've had a good time. Thank you guys for showing up.
I got
Lieberman,
so
what are you going
many
to
more
promote?
complaints to make.
We
I got
could
nothing to plug. Go to Motor Trend. Read
go to
about
Motor
cars.
Trend, read about it. Matty Farah.
The Smoking Tire, if you're in LA, West Side Collector Car Storage, we got you covered until we're full, which is going to be very, very soon.
There you go. And be sure to follow me on Instagram if you don't already, because
Oh, yeah, me too.
next week we are going to be at Bill's recording a special episode about Porsche's subscription and rental program. Right after that, if you're following me on Instagram, I'm going to make an announcement about a sweepstakes where you will get a Porsche 911 for the weekend to do with as you will. That means you don't have to use another company to rent. Porsche is going to give you a brand new 911, and all you have to do is comment under the post. I believe the sweepstakes is going to be limited to just the United States, but you'll see that on the post, so it's important that you follow me. We're going to do one for October, and then I believe we're doing one in November, so you have 2 chances. All you have to do is comment and tag somebody. Big thanks to Policy Genius, ExpressVPN, and Dogscaping Manscapers. Thank you guys. We love you for sponsoring us, and we'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.